Welcome back guys. In this video I'll be showing you how to use AMD's FSR Upscaler in God of War 2018, Monster Hunter Wilds and Final Fantasy Rebirth running on my ROG Ally that comes with an AMD based GPU Radeon 780M based on RDNA 3 architecture. My Ally is running on Linux based Bazzite operating system. I'll be using Optiscaler mod to enable FSR 4. The thing is, I won't be using the latest version of FSR 4 Upscaler, that is version 4.0.2. Instead of it, I'll be using version 4.0.0 as it is lighter on RDNA 3 based GPU. Already done a comparison for this in another video, will drop its link in the description. Only use FSR version 4.0.2 if you have a high-end RDNA 3 based GPU. In order to get FSR 4 Upscaler working on PCs with RDNA 3 based GPUs, the PC should be running on Linux based operating system, MESA driver version 25.2 or anything newer than that. You also need to use the latest version of GE Proton, add a launch argument to the game. That's basically a workaround for RDNA 3 based GPUs. The build of Optiscaler mod which I'll be using also supports XeSS frame generation. Now God of War 2018 is a DirectX 11 title, so XeSS frame gen won't work. In Monster Hunter Wilds, if the base FPS is less than 30, you will observe some graphical artifacts with XeSS frame gen enabled. Character's head will flicker. When the FPS drops below 20, the entire character model will flicker, so I would not recommend using XeSS frame gen on ROG Ally. The game is very poorly optimized. Ally struggles to maintain a steady 30 FPS in this game, even when the graphics preset is set to low. In Final Fantasy Rebirth, XeSS frame gen smoothing effect works fine, but Hotfix, it does not work properly. Game's HUD elements exhibit minor ghosting. Using XeSS frame gen is completely up to you. I'll kick things off with God of War. I'll be using the latest test build of Optiscaler mod version 0.9.0 preview 3 20250911 available on their Discord server. We'll give the link to their Discord in the description of the video. Just click on the .samj link here. This build of Optiscaler mod comes with FSR version 4.0.2. I'll downgrade it to version 4.0.0 using FidelityFX tx12.dll file that comes with FidelityFX SDK version 1.1.4. Just click on the download icon here, download raw file, download will start. In order to prevent Monster Hunter Wilds from crashing with Optiscaler mod install, I'll be using the latest nightly build of REFramework available on GitHub. I'll give its link in the description of the video. Scroll down until you find the assets section. Expand it, click on mhwilds.zip file. First I'll show you the setup process for God of War 2018. Just open Dolphin File Explorer, go to downloads. Here you will find all of the files that you downloaded earlier. I have transferred them to another directory, it does not matter. Optiscaler's archive file. Open it. Click on extract. Name, just type anything. Click on extract. Wait for the extraction process to complete. Close the archive window. Here there is the extracted folder. Just open it. Change the name of optiscaler.dll file to dxgi.dll. There it is. Select the file, right click, rename. Type dxgi. And just copy the highlighted files. Leave xeSS.dll. This is XeSS super resolution. Leave xeSS_fg.dll, XeSS frame gen. dxgi.dll Optiscaler mod file. Just select all of the DirectX 12 FidelityFX files. Vulkan version of FidelityFX not required. Nukem 9 mod not required. FidelityFX frame gen file. Fake NV API.dll. XeSS low latency mode. DirectX LAN version of XeSS not required. Optiscaler.ini file. FidelityFX tx12. Fake NV API.ini. Fake NV API will replace the in-game reflex implementation with XeSS low latency mode. Copy. Select the game in your Stream library, right click, manage, click on browse local files. This will open the game's installed directory. Paste everything here, 10 items. Highlighting the files. Now you just need to open Optiscaler.ini file. You need to change one setting. Click on edit, click on find, type FSR4, Hit enter twice. You will find this line, FSR 4 update. Just set it to true. By default it is set to auto. Now click on save here, close. Highlight a launch argument to the game, RDNA 3 GPU Workaround. Select the game in your Steam library, click on the settings cog here, click on properties, click on general. Under launch options, add this line of text I'll provide in the description of the video. You can copy the line from there, paste it here. We'll be using the latest version of GE Proton compatibility, GE Proton version 10-15. You can download it for free from Proton Hub Qt app. Quickly show you the process. Run Proton Hub Qt. Click on add version. Click on the drop down bar below compatibility tool, select GE Proton. Click on the drop down bar below version. Select the latest version from here. Then click on install. I've already installed it. At this point, if you run the game, you will be able to access FSR version 4.0.2. Now I'll be downgrading it to version 4.0.0. This step is optional. If your GPU can handle the latest version of FSR 4, stick with it. Just copy FidelityFX DSTL file that we got from FidelityFX SDK version 1.1.4. Open the game's install directory. Replace the existing file. Paste, overwrite. That's it. We're ready to run the game. Switch to SteamOS. Beg your pardon, Bazzite OS gaming mode. System info section for Bazzite. My LS running on BIOS version 342. I have set the UMA buffer size to 4 GB. Video driver RADV version 25.2.1. Very important. Driver should not be older than version 25.2 if you want to use FSR 4. Show you handheld Daemon settings, advanced settings. TDP set to 27 watts, TDP boost disable. I use a very aggressive fan curve. CPU settings, CPU power set to low, CPU boost disable. GPU frequency set to auto. Connected my Flydigi Vader 4 Pro controller to LI via Bluetooth mode, X input controller. Performance QM settings, OL level set to 3. Frame limit 120, VRR enabled. In-game display setting, mode set to windowed. 720p resolution, VSync off, triple buffering disabled. No FPS cap applied, motion blur, film grain off. Yeah, we have access to DLSS. This means Optiscaler mod is working using its quality preset. Sharpness level 35, up to you. Graphics, using the original preset. Jump into the game. We are in. Open Optiscaler menu by pressing the insert keyboard key. Now just increase the menu size. Click on the drop down bar next to menu US scale. Select the value 1.2. Much better. API use D3, D11, DirectX 11. Linux is using DXVK to translate. DirectX 11 calls to Vulkan API. Upscaler used is FSR 2.2.1. Just change the upscaler. DXJS spoofing is on. Click on the drop down bar Click on the drop down bar next to change upscaler and select FSR 3.x /4 with DirectX 12. Don't select FSR 3.x. Now click on change upscaler. Display will freeze for a few seconds. Yeah, FSR 4.0.0 selected. I'll enable Optiscaler's performance overlay. Click on the drop down bar next to expand the FPS overlay section. Check this setting, FPS overlay enabled. Full plus graph. Save and I close. You can see the base resolution here, 854 by 480 pixels, upscale to 720p. Change the position of FPS overlay, my bad. Top right. There's the HUD. Engage in combat. Upscaler pause, it's around 5 milliseconds. This is due to the DirectX 11 to DirectX 12 layer. Quickly clear the area. Intense combat, FPS stays close to 60. That's really good to see. Image quality, it's looking very clean, very sharp. Difficult to believe that this is not native 720p resolution. Oh no, right. It has revived me. So FSR4 Upscaler is definitely usable in God of War 2018. Now I'll test the next game. Now I'll show you the mod setup process for Final Fantasy Rebirth. Just open the extracted Optiscaler mod folder. Copy the highlighted files, same as before. Leave XeSS.dll, XeSSFrameGen.dll, txgi.dll, FidelityFX TX12 files. Vulkan not required, Nukem Nice mod not required. Fake NV API files, XeSS low latency .dll file, Optiscaler.ini. Yeah, copy the files. I'll show you where to paste them. Select the game in your Steam library, right click, manage, click on browse local files. Open end folder, binaries folder, Win64 folder, paste everything here. 10 items. Highlighting the files. Now we just need to open Optiscaler.ini file. Make one change. There's the file. Open it. Click on edit. Click on find. And just type FSR4. Hit enter twice. Set FSR4 update to true. Click on save. Close this file. Need to add a launch argument to the game. Select the game in your Steam library. Click on the settings cog here, properties, general, launch option. Add this line of text. Again same as before. Using GE Proton version 10-15 as the compatibility layer. Now I'll be manually downgrading FSR version from 4.0.2 to 4.0.0 using FidelityFX TX12 file that I obtained from FidelityFX SDK version 1.1.4. Copy the DLL file. Just need to paste it in the game's install directory where we install Optiscaler mod. End folder, binaries folder, Win64. Paste it right here. Overwrite. Switch to gaming mode. We are ready to run the game. Launch the game. Performance QM settings. Overlay level set to 3. Frame limit 120. VRR enabled. Again I'll keep the gameplay short. Graphics, display mode windowed, 720p resolution, frame rate 120 max value. Display technology VRR, ALS supports it. Dynamic resolution scaling, minimum and maximum value set to 66%, basically the quality preset of DLSS Upscaler. Everything set to low. Anti-aliasing method set to DLSS. Yeah, Optiscaler is working. Jump into the game. Yeah, there's Cloud and my team. Just open Optiscaler menu by pressing the insert keyboard key. Quickly increase its size. Upscaler selected XeSS. Out of the box you can only use TAAU upscaling in this game on ROG Ally. This upscaler makes the image quality look very blurry. Switching to XeSS or FSR4 will increase the image sharpness, improve the image quality. Click on the drop down bar next to change upscaler. Select FSR 3.x /4. Now click on change upscaler. Display will freeze for a few seconds. Don't worry, normal process. Audio is still playing. Even the mouse pointer is not moving. I'll just wait. Here it took around 30 seconds to switch from XeSS upscaler to FSR4 upscaler. Auto Explorer setting is on. I'll also enable Optiscaler's performance overlay. Expand FPS overlay section. Check the setting. FPS overlay enabled. Full plus graph. Position top right. Save INI. Base resolution 854 by 482 pixels, upscale to 720p resolution. Yes, Cloud. Yeah, his hair is looking much better with FSR4 compared to TAAU upscaler. Leaves of the tree, they're not looking pixelated. Again, this is not native 720p resolution. Image quality is actually looking sharp. It's not looking blurry. Upscaler costs around 3.7 milliseconds. Okay, I'll engage in combat. FPS close to 50. That's really good to see. Hitting the GPU bottleneck here. I'll also show you how to use XeSS FrameGen in this game. Game supports DirectX 12 API and DLSS Upscaler. So I'll be using OptiFG Upscaler as the frame generation source. Smoothing effect of XeSS FrameGen will work properly. Unfortunately, the HUD elements, they will exhibit some ghosting. 40 to 50 FPS during combat. Open Optiscaler menu, click on the drop down bar next to FG source and select FG Upscaler as the option. Click on the drop down bar next to FG output and select XeFG as the option. Click on save and close and just restart the game. Play. After restarting the game, just open Optiscaler menu, check the setting active under frame generation XeFG. This will enable XeSS FrameGen. Frame time graph, it will become thick like this. Check the debug view, you will see purple sidebars flickering. If XeSS FrameGen is not working, the sidebars won't appear at all. Yeah, FPS increased to around 70. Animation quality, it's looking much smoother now. Real world input delay, nothing extreme. Just observe the game's HUD element here. During fast visual motion, yeah, it exhibits some ghosting. See. Unfortunately, Hotfix does not work properly in this game. The game does not support DLSS frame generation as well. Otherwise, I would have used DLSSG via Streamline as the frame generation source. Text here is exhibiting minor ghosting. C. Using XeSS FrameGen is completely optional, up to you. I'll test the next game. First I'll install REFramework in Monster Hunter files. Open mhfiles.zip file. Just need to extract this DLL file, de-input it, drag and drop it outside of this archive window like this. Here's the file, select it, right click, cut. Open the game's install directory, select the game in your Steam library, right click, manage, click on browse local files. This will open the game's install directory, paste the DLL file here. Done. Now install Optiscaler mod. Open the mods extracted folder. Setup process same as before. Just copy the highlighted files, libxess.dll, libxess frame generation, dxgi.dll, fidelity.fx dx12 files. Vulkan file not required, Nucomnance mod not required, fidelity.fx FrameGen, fake nvpi.dll, XeSS low latency mode DLL file, DX11 version of XeSS not required, Optiscaler.ini, fidelity.fx dx12 file, fake nvpi.ini. Copy. Open the game's install directory, paste everything here. 10 items, apply to all, override. Now we just need to open Optiscaler.ini file. I'm just highlighting the pasted files. Need to change one setting from Optiscaler.ini file. Set FSR4 update to true. Open the file. Click on edit. Click on find. Type FSR4. Hit enter twice. This line will pop up, FSR4 update. Just set it to true. Click on save, close, add a launch argument to the game. Select the game in your Steam library, click on the settings cog here, click on properties, click on general. Under launch options, add this line of text, same as before. We'll be using GE Proton version 10-15 as the compatibility layer. Now I'll manually downgrade FSR from version 4.0.2 to version 4.0.0. We'll use fidelity.fx dx12.dll file that I got from fidelity.fx SDK version 1.1.4. Just copy the DLL file. Open the game's install directory. Paste the file here. Overwrite. We are ready to run the game. I'll switch to gaming mode. Play. Insert key is the toggle key for REFramework menu and Optiscaler mod. So I'll be changing the toggle key for REFramework menu. I'll just use delete key as the toggle key for it. There's REFramework menu. REFramework is getting initialized. Wait for the process to complete. There you go. Now just click on configuration, click on menu key and just press delete key. Close the menu by pressing the delete key again. After restarting the game, Optiscaler menu may not pop up again. In order to fix this issue, all you need to do is either enable or disable in-game FSR frame generation setting. Weird bug. In-game DLSS Upscaler was causing the display to flicker, so I'll be using in-game FSR Upscaler. At 720p resolution, the sky textures are not rendered properly. Some artifacts appear. So I'll be running the game at 900p resolution. Performance QM settings overlay level set to 3. Frame limit 120 VRR enabled. I'll show you the in-game settings. Display mode set to borderless window. It is required for using XeSS frame gen. Resolution 900p. No FPS cap applied. VSync off. Reflex you can enable it. This means Optiscaler mod is working. I'm using the lowest graphics preset. Upscaler, just set it to FSR. In-game FSR frame generation disabled for the time being. Using the Upscaler's performance preset, sharpness level 0.5. Other settings, variable rate shading off. These are the settings that come with the lowest preset. Bloom disabled as well. Other post-processing effects disabled. Yeah, there's a character. Open Optiscaler menu by pressing the insert keyboard key. Oh my god, it's so small in size. Click on the drop down bar next to menu UI scale. Set the value to 1.2. Much better now. I'll increase the size further. 1.5. Upscaler, it's set to XeSS. I'll just change it to FSR 3.x/4. Click on the drop down bar next to change upscaler and select the option. Click on change upscaler. Yeah, FSR 4.0.0 selected. API D3 D12. Upscaler version is shown here. Input in-game FSR Upscaler. TXGS spoofing is off. Auto exposure setting, I'll enable it. I'll also enable Optiscaler's FPS overlay. Expand the section FPS overlay. Check the setting FPS overlay enabled. Full plus graph position top right. Click on save INI. Base resolution 800 by 456 pixels, upscale to around 900p resolution. Yeah, here FPS is close to 30. I'm in the lobby area, lot of NPCs around me. Yeah, 25 to 30 FPS. Hitting the GPU bottleneck. Game's performance is very bad. Poorly optimized title. Just leave the cave. Venture into the open world. FPS will drop to around 20. I get roughly the same performance on Windows. There's the monster I'm looking for. Yeah, 22 FPS. Oh my god. Sky textures, rather I should say cloud textures, are rendered properly, not observing any artifacts. You can use in-game FSR frame generation, combine it with FSR 4, but it will cause our character shadows to flicker during fast visual motion. XeSS frame generation does not produce this artifact. It produces a different artifact. It causes our character's head to flicker. Now this game supports FSR 3.1 frame generation, so I'll use it as a frame generation source. Played the game for about an hour with this frame generation source. It did not crash on Ally. Just open Optiscaler mod menu. Click on the drop down bar next to FG source and select FSR 3.1 FG. Supports HUDless out of the box, so we won't be required to deal with Optiscaler's Hotfix. Now click on the drop down bar next to FG output and select XeFG as the option. Click on save INI close. Restart the game. Play. After restarting the game, I am unable to open REFramework's menu. It seems Optiscaler mod is blocking it. Even Optiscaler's menu is not opening up. I'll show you how to fix this. Just go to in-game graphics settings. From here, set frame generation to AMD FSR. Yeah, now Optiscaler is working. Open the menu, there it is. You need to check the setting active under frame generation XeFG. Make sure in-game FSR frame generation setting is enabled, otherwise XeSS frame gen won't work. current FSR FG state, it's on. Frame time graph, it became thick. Jump into the game. Save and I close. If you had the in-game FSR frame generation setting already enabled, disable it. Menu will work. After that, enable the setting again, in-game FSR. Unfortunately, REFramework's menu is still not working. There's a character. I'll show you XeSS frame gen's debug view. Enable the setting. Your purple sidebars are present. This means XeSS frame gen is working. You can tell this from the smoothing effect. 50 FPS with frame gen. I'll also show you show detected UI element setting. It works in this game. Should highlight the game's UI. See, UI elements are highlighted pink in color. Now I'll highlight XeSS frame gen's graphical artifact. Just observe a character's head. I'll spin the camera. Yeah, there is some flickering going on around a character's head. This flickering effect will become more aggressive when the base FPS is on the lower side. When the base FPS is less than 20, the entire character model will flicker. Our character's shadow that's not flickering during fast visual motion. In-game FSR frame generation causes this issue. XeSS low latency mode should be working. Yeah, current method mentioned XCLL under frame rate section. Just make sure in-game reflex setting is on. Fake NV API will replace it with XCLL. I was expecting the latency to be much worse than this. Attack the creature. 40 FPS with frame generation. You can follow this guide on a more powerful Linux based PC with an AMD GPU. That's it for the video guys. I hope you find it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.